Krishnamurti, in dialogue with Dr. Allan W. Anderson. J. Krishnamurti was born in South India and educated in England. For the past 40 years, he has been speaking in the United States, Europe, India, Australia, and other parts of the world. From the outset of his life's work, he repudiated all connections with organized religions and ideologies and said that his only concern was to set men absolutely, unconditionally free. He is the author of many books, among them The Awakening of Intelligence, The Urgency of Change, Freedom from the Known, and The Flight of the Eagle. This is one of a series of dialogues between Krishnamurti and Dr. Allan W. Anderson, who is professor of religious studies at San Diego State University, where he teaches Indian and Chinese scriptures and the oracular tradition. Dr. Anderson, a published poet, received his degree from Columbia University and the Union Theological Seminary. He has been honored with a Distinguished Teaching Award from the California State Universities.
Mr. Krishnamurti, in our previous conversation, I was extremely delighted, for myself at least, that we had made the distinction in terms of the relation between knowledge and self-transformation, between, on the one hand, the relationship that I sustain to the world, as the world is me and I am the world, and on the other hand, this dysfunctional condition which indicates in your phrase that a person is involved in thinking that the description is the described. It would appear then that something must be done to bring about a change in the individual. And going back to our use of the word individual, we could say, and you used the word earlier, that we are dealing with an observer. So if the individual is not to make the mistake of taking the description for the described, then he must, as an observer, relate to the observed in a particular way that is totally different from the way he has been in his confusion. I thought perhaps in this particular conversation, if we pursued that, it would be a link directly with what we had said prior.
What we said previously, wasn't it that there must be a quality of freedom from the known? Otherwise it will be mere, the known is merely the repetitive of the past, the tradition, the image and so on. The past, surely, sir, is the observer. Past is the accumulated knowledge as the me and the we, they and us. Is this, the observer is put together by thought as the past. Thought is the past. Thought is never free. Thought is never new, because thought is the response of the past as knowledge, as experience, as memory.
Yes, I follow that.
And the observer, when he observes, is observing with the memories, experiences, knowledge, hurts, despairs, hope, all that, with all that background, he looks at the observed. So the observer then becomes separate from the observed. Is the observer different from the observed, which we'll go into present later on.
Yes, right.
That leads to all kinds of other things. So, when we are talking of freedom from the known, we are talking about the freedom from the observer.
The observer, yes.
And the observer is the tradition, the past, the conditioned mind that looks at things, looks at itself, looks at the world, looks at me, and so on. So the observer is always dividing. The observer is the past, and therefore we cannot observe wholly.
Mm-hmm. If a person uses the first person pronoun, I, while he's taking the description for the described, this is the observer he refers to when he says I. Yes, yes, yes. Please
I
do go on.
is the past.
I see.
I is the whole structure of what has been. The remembrances, the memories, the hurts, the various demands, all that is put together in the word the I, who is the observer. And therefore division. The observer and the observed. The observer who thinks he's a Christian and observes a non-Christian or a communist, is this division, this attitude of mind which observes with a conditioned responses, with memories and so on. So that is the known.
I see.
I mean, I think that is logically so.
Oh no, it follows precisely from what you've said.
Yes. So, we are asking, can the mind or the whole structure, can the mind be free from the known? Otherwise, the repetitious action, repetitious attitudes, repetitious ideologies will go on, modified, changed, but it is in the same direction. So
no, do go ahead. I was just going to say something, but I think I'll let it wait until you finish what you've said.
So, what is this freedom from the known? I think that's very important to understand, because any creative action, I'm using the word creative in its original sense, not in the sense creative writing, creative bakery, creative essay, creative pictures. I'm not talking in those sense. In the deeper sense of that word, creation means something totally new being born. I mean, it's not creative, it's merely repetitive, modified, changed, not the past. So, unless there is a freedom from the known, there is no creative action at all. Which is, freedom implies not the negation of the known, but the understanding of the known, and that understanding brings about an intelligence which is the very essence of freedom.
Right. I'd like to make sure that I've understood your use of this word creative.
Yes, that's why
seems to me very, very important.
Yes.
People who use the word creative in the sense that you described, creative this, that, and the other.
That's a horror. That is a dreadful way of using that word.